Disclaimer. We are interested in everything and experts in nothing. We enjoy learning, but get it wrong sometimes. We mean no disrespect, and if we mess up, kindly correct us. Let's take this ride together, unless your intention is to cause harm or distress, in which case, with utmost haste, fuck right off.
So I'm Sarah.
I'm Roxana.
And I'm doing this week. So I almost feel like I have to give a disclaimer right off the bat, which is I was drawn to this for humorous reasons.
Okay.
And then when I got in, it took darker turns.
You know that happens.
It does happen. So what first caught my eye about this was the hair.
The hair.
The hair.
Okay.
I don't even know how I found the docuseries, but the cover of this was this blonde woman with the tallest hair I have ever seen in my life.
Like Marie Antoinette tall or like Beehive tall?
Like, I didn't know you could tease hair this much.
Okay, so like Beehive. So teasing, not a wig.
Not a wig. This is her hair.
All right.
So that's why I looked into it.
Right.
It was a docuseries, which apparently is on a cult. So then I had to know more.
Then you had to know more, yeah.
Yeah, and now here we are.
The cult of the big hair?
No.
Okay.
But trigger warning, because all cults have dark sides.
Right.
We are going to be talking about child abuse and murder.
Oh, that's not good.
But not, I mean, in terms of cults, it could be worse.
It could be worse.
Not to the degree some cults get.
All right, okay.
So, Gwen Shamblin grew up in Tennessee.
Okay.
Right smack dab in the middle of the Bible Belt.
Okay.
Where religion is a central part of life.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. So growing up, she attended a church called the Church of Christ.
Okay.
Which really they didn't talk much about, other than the fact that, according to that church, women are not allowed to speak in church. Like, at all.
That's weird, because my cousins went to the Church of Christ and they talked all the time and did plays and shit.
Well, not the one she went to.
Okay, so she went to a serious one.
Or maybe it changed over time.
Possibly.
But she not allowed to talk at all, like even to pray. No words by women in church.
Okay, I already dislike this strongly.
Yeah, so that's the church she grew up in.
Okay.
And they were one of those churches that believed that, you know, they had it all right and everyone else was going to hell because you weren't in their church.
Absolutely.
That's pretty common.
Yeah, that's pretty common in almost every religion.
Yeah. Her father was a doctor.
Okay.
And her family was really big on the whole concept that you had to clean your plate. Like,
eat all your food.
Eat all your food.
Okay.
Eat it all. That sounds completely irrelevant, but I promise it matters.
Yeah, my grandparents were very much like that, but they grew up during the Depression, so you didn't waste food.
Yeah. So, Gwen attended college in 1974.
Kind of surprised she was allowed to go to college if she wasn't allowed to speak in church. She's allowed to have higher learning, but she can't open her mouth.
She just can't talk about it when she gets there, I guess.
Okay,
I don't know.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so she attended college in 1974 and pursued a degree in nutrition.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I strongly dislike this already.
Yeah. Like many college students, she found herself putting on a few extra pounds.
Yeah, there was, what is it, the freshman
15?
Or 15? Yeah.
Freshman 15. Yeah. That's not just college students. That's just welcome to adult life.
That's
life is stressful.
Adult life. Yeah, when you're in charge of your own fucking food and your parents aren't making your shit, you gotta do your own groceries and find out how much that stuff actually costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention the whole stress of it. And yes, anyway,
stress of it,
that's
drinking.
just adult life. But college students, they call it the freshman 15.
Freshman 15, yeah.
Anyway, so she became fixated on the idea of how to eat and not gain weight.
Oh, no, I don't like this.
I probably should have added an eating disorder trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warning eating disorder.
Yeah. So in the 1980s, she started to develop a program which she called the Weigh Down program, as like in weigh yourself.
Okay.
Weight, yes. So this program incorporated scripture with weight loss. It taught that your body was not your own and that it belonged to God, and that disrespecting your body was disrespecting a temple of the Lord.
Oh no, not this body. My body is a temple bullshit.
I know.
My body's like a haunted Cambodian temple that's been left to let the jungle reclaim.
Oh, I don't think that's the worst thing, though. I think that's great.
It's fine.
So she said that people that are unable to lose weight are not following the Lord, and that they could change this by learning how to, quote, her words, stop bowing down to the refrigerator and how to bow back down to him instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going there.
We are going there.
Okay.
So in 1997, she wrote a book called The Way Down Diet. By this time, she was a registered dietitian.
How?
She got her degree, her
How
education.
did she get her degree if she's saying shit like... All right, go. It's fine. Go on.
Anyway, the book is still available on Amazon for $15.
I don't know if I want to read that.
So here's your first glimpse at her when she has normal hair.
I was going to say, her hair's not that big.
No. In 1997-ish, her hair's pretty normal.
Pretty normal.
And I'm saying ish. So a lot of my information, I looked at a lot of resources, but basically most of my information came from the HBO Max docuseries, The Way Down.
Oh my god, I think I saw this. Like, I didn't see the docuseries, but I think I saw it advertised.
You might have.
I might have. Okay.
They were not very clear on timelines. Like, they didn't throw out a bunch of years.
Okay.
So a lot of my sources were then to go try and find the years to nail down a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a lot of the sources are just talking about the docuseries.
Oh,
so timelines are muddy.
Yeah, timelines are muddy. Okay.
So a lot of ish.
A lot of ish.
A lot of ish.
That's fine.
Okay. So, believe it or not, some of the things that she teaches are not actually bad. They're not bad advice.
Well, I mean, if she's a registered or licensed dietitian, she has to have some base knowledge. So, right. I mean, I'm not terribly shocked by that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's going to devolve.
Well, yeah. So one of the things that she talked about was that there are no bad foods. And she attributed that to Mark 7, which is a Bible verse, where Jesus declared all foods clean.
Okay. Except for pork. If you're Jewish.
That's kosher, but they don't follow. Well,
oh, that's
do
right.
Kind
of.
Go
on. That's fine.
Go
on.
I don't know. I'm unclear because I thought they still thought Jesus was a prophet, but not the Son of God. But maybe it depends on which Jewish.
Hey, move on. It doesn't matter.
Moving on. Anyway, the point is, Jesus said all foods are clean.
Okay, so no foods are bad.
Right. Now that's actually still something that they teach in ED treatment today. Is that there are no bad foods. Fed is good. No, there's
not. Fed is good.
So,
yeah.
Also, the Health at Every Size movement.
Okay. Yeah.
Uses that same principle. And people do find this freeing.
Yeah.
Because it removes shame and failure from eating. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
So whereas diet culture teaches us that there are good and bad foods, and when we stray from the approved lists,
right, then we're doing
shame on us.
Bad.
We're weak. We failed. Blah 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 blah. So that where there are no bad foods, that's actually accepted in treating eating disorders. So that's not a bad thing. That's okay.
Yes.
She also taught followers to pay attention to body cues and eat when only physically hungry.
Okay. So
and
no
to only eat until you are physically sated.
To no overeating.
Right, which is also part of the Health at Every Size movement.
Right, absolutely.
It's called intuitive eating.
Well, I mean, some of these things are still valid. They're not revolutionary just to her. They're still taught and okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's intuitive eating is basically what the premise was. And WebMD.com reviewed her diet, and it mostly comes up neutral.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Basically, what they had to say was, well, if you're going to do this, you have to actually pay attention.
Right.
And if you're going to be eating all your favorite foods, you need to keep in mind that your favorite foods might not be nutritious, and nutrition matters.
Right, nutrition does
basically
matter. So moderation and expand your diet to make sure you're getting the right nutrition.
Right. So in a nutshell, that's what WebMD had to say. So not all bad.
Not all bad. Okay.
But
here's the but.
She also said that anytime they felt the urge to eat when they weren't physically hungry, that they instead should be praying.
Okay, at least she's not saying cut yourself or some shit like that.
No, that's true. But she also said that her essentially repackaged intuitive eating practices were revelations from God.
Yeah, of course.
So her Way Down program is embraced by Christian churches, and many begin to teach her program at their church, kind of like Weight Watchers with scripture.
Okay, yeah.
So it'd be like if you were going to a Weight Watchers meeting, but it was hosted by your church.
By your church,
and they also had Bible study.
You know what I mean? It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
That's not bad. I mean, I know a lot of people who would probably benefit and enjoy that.
Right? Like that's
it's
not that bad.
I don't.
Not for me,
it
but
right
not
now.
that bad.
No, not for me, but I can see how that would be helpful, and I don't see a immediate problem with it, but I'm sure that will change.
It's coming. So she becomes a sensation.
Right.
And she's featured in The New Yorker, on 2020, on Larry King. Basically, all major media outlets feature her. She then goes on to say that all humans are inherently addictive, like we have addictive personalities, and that all we need to do is to shift our addiction from food, and then later other addictions like cigarettes, alcohol, pornography, to the Lord. We just need to become addictive with the Lord instead of whatever our current vice is.
Okay.
It feels icky, right?
It feels kind of icky, and it kind of harkens back to the whole original sin, and like, you know, I don't really like it. But anyway.
Yeah. So all of this eventually culminates in her founding the Remnant Fellowship Church in 1999.
Okay.
So at this point, she declares in the middle of what looked like a Way Down convention.
Okay.
Lots of people there.
Yeah.
But she declares that there is no Holy Trinity, there's only God.
So no Jesus, no Holy Ghost, just God.
Yeah, which also I find really interesting because there were a lot of clips of her praying like in Jesus' name, and I'm like, I thought you...
But you just said you can't have both.
Yeah,
okay.
Anyway, but there's only God. Well, this created an outrage.
That would.
Half of the convention attendees walk out.
I could see that.
And many churches shut down their Way Down programs.
Yeah, if they're teaching the Holy Trinity and this person's saying there is no Holy Trinity, I'm pretty sure I know which one's going to give.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Gwen condemned the remaining churches and claimed that anybody doing the program in another church wouldn't lose weight because it wasn't the true church.
Of course not.
Yeah. Here we go. There's a little bit of her hair. It's growing.
Oh, it's growing. Oh, it's raising.
The hair is growing.
Closer to God.
Yeah.
The higher the hair, the closer to God.
Yeah, that came up a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
So
she is a Southern woman, so I get it.
Yeah. So after she founds the church, apparently she is sued by her employees.
Really?
Yep. Because they claim that she required them to attend her church as a stipulation of their employment.
Well, that's illegal.
Hence the lawsuit.
Right. Okay.
I only saw this in the documentary. I didn't find anything about it outside the documentary, so I'm not 100% sure when this happened or even what the result was.
I'm kind of curious, though, because who would work for her in a non-religious aspect? I mean, she's pretty hand in hand. It's not like...
Well, remember, I mean, she had this whole program going before she founded the church.
Okay, right.
And that was before she denounced the Trinity.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so you could have been
already
Christian
employed
and working for her, and then she decided to remove the Holy Trinity, and you're like, whoa,
and found her own church, and now you have to go to mine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you now.
Yeah. So I don't really know the outcome of that lawsuit. Couldn't really find that. I mean, I guess maybe if I dug harder, I could have, but it wasn't obvious.
I feel like they would have ruled in favor of the employees, though.
I feel like they would have had to.
You know, whatever. Maybe
they
it's settled out of court.
They did show in a deposition related to that lawsuit that this is awful.
Okay.
Just warning you.
I'm preparing myself.
She cited Holocaust victims as a support for her methods because they all lost weight when they ate less.
Oh my God, no, they were no. Oh God, no.
Yeah. And this
wasn't a wellness camp, you bitch.
Yeah, so this was shown on the docuseries, recorded. And whoever was doing the deposition like actually challenged her on that. Like, are you seriously drawing this connection? Like, do you feel like that's a good connection to draw?
You want to do this in the court of law, you stupid fucking whore?
And she fucking doubled down.
Of course she doubled down.
Because they always do. And she said, I've been doing it for 15 years.
Okay. But,
I know.
But she's not Jewish, so would she... Okay, all right. Nope.
Let's get our blood pressure back down.
There's no logicking this one out. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. She's just fucking crazy. All right. Next.
Can't make this shit up. Let's just get our blood pressure down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So another thing that she preached was that women should be submissive to their husbands.
That's not shocking.
No, but it is fucking ironic.
Because she's running this shit.
She left the Church of Christ because she wasn't allowed to be a leader. To found the Remnant Church.
And women can't be leaders. They should be subservient. I don't want women to lead. I just want to lead. And I happen to be a woman. So I actually don't give a shit about women. I only give a shit about me.
Or maybe in mental gymnastics, it's okay if I lead as long as my husband condones it. I don't know. But I found it ironic. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So they also taught that children should be obedient and quiet.
That's most religions.
So I saw this clip in the docuseries, and bustle.com was good enough to write it down for me, so I could just copy it. So what she said was, to a group of children, mind you.
Oh, no.
She's speaking to children.
Okay.
The way you show God that you are answering to him is through obeying your mother and your father on the first time. If you do it on the second or the third time, or you're slow to obey, you are being your own God, and nobody playing around like that can ever go to heaven. If you do not obey mommy and daddy the first time, you will be taken out, and you will be very, very sorry.
Oh, God. Okay, I know honor thy father and thy mother, but there's a fucking point,
This is something different, right?
This is something completely different. Like, if you don't answer on the first... Okay, what if you had to pee? What if you'd be like, okay, Mom, I will do the dishes, but can I please pee first? You're gonna go to hell?
I don't know.
You have to pee yourself while you're doing the dishes? Because that's gonna cause another problem. Okay, no, there's no logic in these out. Keep going.
Yeah. So in 2003...
Okay.
The church gets pulled into a court case.
Another one?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like the pause.
An 8-year-old boy died.
Oh, baby.
And the parents were charged with his death. They are church members.
Did they not get him medical care or something?
They did not, but do you really want to know?
Go for it. Come on.
Okay. So I don't remember. I didn't write it down because it's dark.
Right.
And there's a lot of dark here. But I know he was perpetually beaten.
Oh.
There was actually a babysitter who was like watching the kid and said something to his father about, you know, he's not listening or whatever, or what do I do if he doesn't listen? Something like that, right? And the father said, just hit him hard. And like she refused. And so he took the kid. He must have already been misbehaving. He took the kid into another room and closed the door, and they could hear the kid screaming as the father beat him.
Nope.
So the babysitter said that she never went back and babysat for them again because this was at a church function. Like
this was happening at church?
At the church. There were several people going to watch the kids so the adults could go do something.
Oh my God, I hate this.
Again, caveat, if I remember right, because I didn't write it down because I didn't know if we'd want to go there. But anyway, so that's important though, because what happened was there was some event or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. They beat him. Mm-hmm. They literally locked him in a chest.
Oh, okay.
And then went and did their thing.
How do you justify that as God's okay with this?
I have no fucking clue. I can't wrap my head around it. It is not how I'm built.
No.
And then, when it was all said and done and they opened the chest, like, he
had
was
died.
unconscious.
Oh, okay.
Unresponsive.
Yeah.
And no, they didn't seek any medical help. I don't know if he was already dead or not, but when they looked into it, they're like, well, it could have been the blunt force trauma because they slammed his head into it with the. Yeah.
I don't like. Okay, my kids are older now, so it's different. But when they were babies, especially in baby seats, I did not like leaving them in a locked car to go return my cart.
Yeah.
It made me nervous. I still did it because you're supposed to return the cart, and that's fine. But I would always try to park as close to the cart return as possible I didn't have to go far.
Get it.
I cannot imagine forcing my child into a locked trunk and then walking away. No.
Yep. And so the autopsy was like, could have been the blunt force trauma to the head, could have been suffocation, could have been both. But in any case,
he was murdered, straight up.
Straight up.
This was not natural causes. No 8-year-old dies of natural causes.
Yes. Also, I'm going to mention, they'd had a 15-year-old, no, that's a lie, 15-month-old child who died of SIDS, like, earlier that year.
Pretty much SIDS stops after, okay, all right.
Yes.
So that baby was probably beaten.
Probably, but don't know that for sure. And
oh, God. All right.
I saw, again, as I was reading stuff about the case itself, someone involved in the case, law enforcement, said, I wish we would have looked at that closer, given how this happened.
Absolutely.
But can't say.
All right.
Anyway, so the parents are members of the church.
Yeah.
And they had turned to Gwen for advice on how to discipline their son in order to get him to be appropriately obedient.
And she said, beat him to death?
So the court had audio recordings of these conversations.
Oh, my God.
And I pulled this off of bustle.com as well.
Uh-huh.
But it's in the docu-series. Mm-hmm. So I heard it, but thanks for typing it out for me.
Thanks for typing it out, yeah.
So, in the call, Sonia is told to discipline Joseph by hitting him with glue sticks. Now, I didn't know what this meant because I'm thinking like back-to-school shopping glue sticks.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
When I actually saw them, it's like hot glue gun glue sticks.
Glue
the
sticks.
Long, flimsy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also tells Gwen, I did exactly what church leader Ted Anger told me to do, to spank him on the back of his thighs. Ow. I took everything out of his room and locked him in there from that Friday until Monday and only left him in the room with his Bible. To which...
all right.
To which Gwen responds, you've got a child that's going from just bizarre down to in control, so I praise God. Gwen later claimed that the tapes had been doctored. Also, the church paid for the defense of the parents.
Of course they did. Of course they did. Absolutely, they fucking did.
Yeah. And they launched a website touting the parents' innocence.
How do you tout innocence when your child is found unresponsive in a locked trunk?
Look. Again.
Okay.
I didn't write it all down.
Nope.
But basically they were saying that police had jumped to a conclusion. They didn't look at all the real reasons why the kid could have actually died. They said, I think one of the craziest ones they said was that the kid had eczema and that he caught a skin infection from his eczema and that killed him. Look.
The coroner said it was blunt force trauma or suffocation.
Look.
Okay, all right, going on.
The parents were found guilty and sentenced to life in prison.
Thank fucking God.
The church was raided in 2004.
Okay.
As a result of all of this.
Okay, yeah.
But was never definitively linked to or found culpable in the death.
Wow, that sucks. But at least the parents were found guilty.
Yeah. So, sorry, that was big, heavy, dark, and uncomfortable. We're gonna switch gears.
Okay.
And go back to Gwen, and I have no timeline.
Okay, no timeline
so,
again.
Basically, we're gonna say that sums up the church, where it came from and whatever. Now we're gonna focus mostly on Gwen.
Okay.
So Gwen was married to a man named David Shamblin.
Okay.
Who had a master's degree in divinity. Apparently no. You get a master's degree in divinity or something like that if you're planning to pursue becoming a church leader, like a pastor or something.
Study of, because divinity means divine. Like, how can you have a master's degree in being divine? You're not
being divine,
but, like,
but in all things divine.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah, that's fine.
So allegedly, he and Gwen began to have trouble after Remnant Fellowship was founded.
Because she killed people?
Well, no, we're backing up a little bit. Nobody's died yet. This is 1999.
Okay.
But he allegedly objected to her profiting off of religion. Like, it was one thing when it was a weight loss program, but now it's a church.
So, yeah, okay, I understand.
And again, he has a master's degree in divinity, so this is something that really matters to him.
Right,
you know. Also, she allegedly objected to his being overweight because it meant he was not right with God. And you know, what message does that send if the founder's own husband isn't aligned?
Okay.
So, now she divorces David in 2018.
Okay.
So we're way past the court stuff now.
Right.
That same year, like 2 months later.
19 years later, though? They started having problems in 99 and couldn't... Okay, all right, go on.
So one of the things, I didn't write this down either, but one of the things that members have said that really bothered them was that she said for years, like, there's absolutely no reason to get a divorce. You stay in a marriage no matter what.
Right.
She counseled her parishioners to remain in marriages even after infidelity or abuse. She advocated some seriously rapey.
I don't like it.
Things because, you know, be subservient.
I don't like it.
Do what he wants.
Okay, yep.
And then she goes and get a divorce.
Right.
Because now it suits her.
It suits her.
Right.
So
right.
Okay.
So yeah, that same year, like 2 months later, Gwen marries a guy named Joe Lara.
Okay.
In this giant, ostentatious spectacle.
Of course it is.
Like, she's in a full princess gown. Like,
of course she is.
It's a big thing. And it's like in a convention hall. Like, the entire fucking church is there.
Oh,
like, it's a big fucking production. Right?
Right.
And a super brief aside, but I watched this in the docuseries and I literally laughed out loud at this man's vows and I had to go back and write them down.
Okay.
Okay. So, I vow to only look forward with you into this incredible journey that the Lord has in store for us. And if the dark forces should ever manifest themselves against us, I vow to never stand behind you, 'cause I'll be in front of you. So his vows basically are, I'm not going to use you as a human shield if demons pop up.
Right.
I'm going to be your shield.
I'm going to be your shield.
Like, what?
Like, I'm not going to be beside you. I'm going to push you behind me, bitch. Like, duck down. Watch out for brain matter. This shit's getting real.
Right. Sorry. It killed me. I literally backed it up like 4 times to make sure I got everything word.
Okay. All right.
It was so good. Okay.
Okay.
So here's a picture of them together.
Oh, the hair's getting higher.
It's getting higher, right?
The hair.
Yeah. We're going to take another aside. Get ready. Okay. So first of all, Joe Lara was an actor, apparently. He was in a TV movie called Tarzan in Manhattan.
Why is Tarzan in New York?
Yeah. Dude, man's had no business being that hot, especially when you see him here.
Okay.
Like, this is what he looked like when they got married.
Okay.
This is him in that movie. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, okay. And he even gets to hug a chimp. Not fair. Okay.
Like, this looks like a completely different man. And then I got off on an aside because I wonder if it's just the role. Because let's look at my man's Alexander Skarsgård as Tarzan.
Still very beautiful.
Very beautiful. And then I figured George of the Jungle is close enough. And let's look at Brendan
Fraser.
So I think it might be the role.
It might be the role. Brendan Fraser is amazing. I love him.
So those are all very beautiful men.
They are.
Anyway, that was just a fun little aside because I needed one. This got darker than I expected.
Okay, that's fair. We just thought this was about high hair and dieting, and it's going into child murder, and it's going to get worse.
Yeah. So back on track now.
Back on track. Fuck.
So Joe's acting career didn't do much else after that movie.
Okay, probably.
Yeah, which I think was like 1989. Like,
maybe he can't act, and when he put his shirt on, nobody cared anymore.
I don't know. He also pursued a country music career for a while.
It didn't go well, did it?
Yeah, it didn't seem to. So people who knew Joe before he met Gwen speculated that he was using her and her resources to pursue his music career and reclaim his spotlight.
Of course.
Yeah.
She's got money. She's got a platform. She's got devotees. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that.
Some parishioners felt Gwen became distracted by Joe and treated him to a lavish lifestyle.
Considering the giant-ass wedding.
Seemed to be true, yeah. Also, here is where I plan to mention that they were angry about her divorce because they weren't allowed to get one. But we did that already.
Course. Yeah, like, I'm with an abusive husband, but I have to subserve him, but you can divorce somebody who thinks you shouldn't be profiting off of the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're going to talk about a couple of, like, toxic things with the church, and
Besides what we already talked about.
Right? There are events that go with them, but again, they weren't really clear on timeline.
Okay.
So I don't know when these events fit into the big picture,
okay.
Which is why we're just going to talk about them one at a time.
All right.
So Gwen had a grandson who died in his sleep at 5 months old.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So the way Remnant views death was that you just ignore it and move on.
You don't grieve?
Grief is not really allowed.
Oh
no.
My God.
But also, if anything bad happens to you, it's because God is judging you because you're doing something wrong.
So she, like, what, disavowed her son or daughter?
No. So in response to that, they began performing what were called family checkups because it's not me and mine that have upset God. So we need to know who in the church brought this down on us.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was a thing. And also while we're at it, you're not allowed to be depressed. That's not allowed either.
You're not allowed to be depressed. You're not allowed to mourn the 5-month-old baby you just lost.
Correct.
Oh God. I hate every minute of this. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Also, I'm going to share a moment when my brain broke.
Okay, I'm
right after all of this,
after
broke
all this,
my brain.
I'm gonna take a breath. Okay.
This is a little less heavy and a little more just outlandish.
Okay.
So, in the docuseries, they show a clip where it's her son Michael is talking to the camera and speaking to all the people in his age group about how they need to stop trying to be like everyone else. And he lists all the ways that would be a negative thing.
Okay.
Which I don't disagree that we should give up on the idea of conformity, but the specifics he listed were a little extreme. But okay. But then he said, we're starting a new trend, and that trend is obedience. Sir. Sir.
Okay, no. Okay, we don't want you to be like everybody else, but we do want you to obey and be the exact fucking same.
Right? Like, literally, you're imploring them to join you and be obedient to your church.
No.
Conform to what you want.
No.
It's still conformity.
No.
Anyway, that broke my brain. Like, it just, my mind shattered in that moment, and I'm like, this hurts.
Yep, no.
Okay. Anyway.
Moving on.
Yes. So another pillar of the church was that the whole outside world is bad. Like you see in lots of cults. Yeah. So members have spoken out and said that they knew if they left, they'd lose their kids because church policy was to keep the kids in the church so the kids wouldn't be harmed by the struggles of a wayward parent.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And they had the resources to do it.
Yeah, they did.
They also encouraged church members to leave their kids to the church in their wills.
Oh, God, no!
Yeah. In the event of my death, I want the church to decide who gets my kid.
No.
Yeah. So, Joe has a daughter from a previous relationship.
Okay, this is not going to end well.
Now, they don't want the daughter to have any friends or activities outside the church because outside world bad.
And she's going to say, fuck you.
So they take her mother to court to try to fight for full custody.
On what grounds?
At this time, none. However,
Okay.
previously, Joe and this woman have gotten into it over custody, and he made allegations of sexual abuse.
Oh, shit.
Which, later on during this whole process, he agreed that he'd admit that never happened.
So he fabricated it.
Completely fabricated it.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What a fantastic father.
And church leader.
And church leader. Jesus Christ. All right.
So the fight goes on for so long and gets so ugly that the ex, Natasha, ends up teaching herself law and represents herself because she couldn't keep paying for lawyers.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Now, eventually the courts decide that it should remain 50-50 custody.
Yeah.
So she did it, effectively.
Kick ass, Natasha.
Also, in like a little, like, I don't know, epilogue of the docuseries, she has since, like, applied to law school.
Oh, good for her. Yeah,
Yes.
as she should.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the hair's getting bigger.
It is getting bigger. It's Gwen and Joe in front of a plane.
Okay.
On May 29th, 2021, Gwen and Joe are flying to a MAGA event, because of course they fucking are.
Of course they are.
Along with 5 other high members of the church.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Joe was the pilot. So it's unclear exactly what happened, but the take home is that their plane went down into Percy Priest Lake in Tennessee, killing all 7 occupants. Gwen's daughter Elizabeth is now heading up the church. Michael, the son, is also involved, but I did hear some conflicting accounts about how involved, because he's been in and out of the church basically his whole life. He's really struggled with it.
Okay. Oh my God, the hair.
The hair is
that
even
has
bigger.
To be the hairpiece.
Yeah, and that's basically where we leave it. The docuseries is called The Way Down: God, Greed, and the Cult of Gwen Shamblin.
Yeah.
It's available on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I highly recommend, because I could not begin to capture it all, but I at least gave you a good taste of what this is going to be about.
Yeah, I think she was one of those that was, like, advocating drinking your own urine, and I think...
I never saw anything about that.
Maybe she wasn't, but I remember there was a big thing on all of, like, the health people, like, pushing the colloidal silver, and she was talking about how her husband is literally Tarzan, and I remembered that.
Oh,
but
that never came up, but could have been.
It could have been,
because that would kind of fit with her husband being Tarzan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my 11 pages.
Oh my God.
On Gwen Shamblin. Although to be fair, I had lots of pictures,
but still
that weren't all necessary.
The hair.
The hair. So yeah, the hair drew me in,
as it would.
I got sucker punched with the darkness.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's all I got.
Okay.
Take a minute, breathe, collect yourself, because that was something else.
That was.
If you enjoyed the podcast,
after these 2 episodes, we blame you. We don't blame you if you don't.
I'm gonna use enjoyed loosely,
right? Yes,
because I don't think I enjoyed this today.
Right.
But if you enjoyed the podcast, give us a like, share, subscribe on any platform. You can find us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Our Trivial Obsessions. We're on Twitter at Our Trivial Pod. We have a website, www.ourtrivialobsessions.com. That's where you're going to find our episode references and bonus materials. And you can check out the evolution of the hair for yourself. And you can email us at randomqueensobsess@gmail.com. Random.
Because we are.
Queens.
Because we are.
Obsess.
Because we do.
Email us there with anything you want to add to the conversation or any suggestions for a future topic. And with that, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.